Good day and welcome to the Silence Speaks Volumes. I'm your host Fazil Jacobs. I cannot believe we are recording the 13th and final episode of the season. This last 12 weeks has been an amazing journey, and I think in keeping with the theme that we've been having, we have an amazing guest with us this evening, a cancer warrior, a legend in her own right. Welcome to the show, Sasanda.
Thank you so much, Fazil.
Sasanda, for the sake of our viewers, can you tell us about yourself, your journey with cancer, how it came about, and
Wow.
yeah.
We don't have time, but I'll try. I was actually diagnosed with cancer in 2016. That was after I've had like 15 operations. Yes, I've had these ovarian cysts that kept coming back, and every time they come back, the doctors had to operate. I've literally been to every hospital, private hospital in Cape Town and in Joburg, because no doctor could tell me why they kept coming back. And then that's when the cancer came in, because the first diagnosis was ovarian cancer. So that's when they diagnosed me with cancer, because the last cyst was too big and then it burst and then it caused cancer. And they called it a stage 3.
No.
So yeah, that was the first diagnosis, because I've had it twice.
And then the second diagnosis?
The second diagnosis was in 2018, and that was cervical cancer. I was going for my annual checkup. You know, after you've had cancer, you always have to go for your checkups. And then I had this pain that I couldn't stand. Then I went to hospital, and they did some tests, like, yeah, the cancer is back, but somewhere else now. Apparently it was spreading. So now it's in the cervix. We have to do another operation. That was the 17th operation I've had.
Sheesh.
So yeah.
So you know the anesthesis very well.
Child, you have no idea. I went to radiation, chemo, the worst. Losing my hair. I decided to just keep it cute and just keep it short.
It's looking good. It's looking
Thank
good.
you.
Just to your journey, and it sounds like, and speaking off air with you, it sounds like there's a lot of similarities, and I think we can all agree that no two cancers are the same.
Never.
However, our journeys are very similar in terms of that emotional roller coaster. And I think one of the things I'd like to chat about is any cultural biases that you've had to face.
Yeah. You know what? Most black people will be shocked when they find out that you have cancer. Like, hi, but you're black and you're young. We thought cancer was a white disease or something. Yeah, most people didn't understand that, and most people in the family that I've spoken to do want me to take chemo. They're like, no, but this thing is gonna kill you, and there's a sangoma that we know that we can take you to, and there are herbal stuff that you can take. You don't have to kill yourself with chemo, and you're paying so much money. You know how expensive these private hospitals are, especially when it comes to cancer. So maybe if we are Dlamini, then he'll hook you up with something legit. Yeah, no. But they don't understand, and that's what we're here for. Even though we went through the journey, it was painful, but it's also important for us to talk about it.
Exactly. And this is how we're educating people out there. Now, how did you manage these, I call them the Google PhDs, the phenomenon, as I said, when I was diagnosed, there were two phenomena that came up. The one was the amount of Google PhDs that surfaced, and the second was the amount of people who signed my death warrant.
Oh yeah. Child, I'm still alive, and people are like, how did you even make it? Because there was a time I was about to tap out myself. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done now. Especially with the cervical cancer. I was like, no, I am done. This is too much for me. Financially, emotionally, the depression was there, and I'm a mother of 2 kids. You know, when it hits you, even forget about your children for a minute. I even tried to take my own life, because I'm like, no, this is too much. I can't deal with this. And people, even after that, I spoke about it. It was never a secret, like, because I'm in a public eye, so a lot of people know me. And people were talking about, oh, she forgot about her kids when she tried to kill herself and whatnot. And they don't know what I was going through at that moment, because you just see black. And you're like, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But and you're like, why do I have to go through this if I can just end it now? Do you understand?
Just on that, we were saying, people say, but you have kids. And it's not, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not necessarily a case of you're being selfish about your kids.
Exactly.
It's also a case of I'm suffering here and I don't want them to see me suffer.
And my kids are very young. My son is 7, my daughter is 3. So you don't want your children to see that. And people will talk around them. My son is very smart. Like, Mommy, are you sick? Because I hear that she's sick. And then you have to explain to, no, Mommy is not sick, but why were you in hospital if you were not sick?
Yeah.
Why was the ambulance here if you were not sick? To a point that I had to take them back to Eastern Cape to my mom. Like, they can't be around me while I'm going through this. And people don't understand those certain things. Like, oh, you took the kids to the Eastern Cape, now you're cancer-free, but you still want to party and do this. Why don't you have your kids back if you don't have the cancer anymore? People don't understand you still have to go through a lot even after the cancer. The therapists, the shrinks and everything. It's very draining. It's too much.
You mentioned the shrinks. You also find then it's important that we have a support structure in place.
Of course.
And a shrink, seeing a shrink, isn't necessarily a case of that there's something wrong with my head or I'm going crazy, I'm going mental. My view on it, and I'd like your opinion, is here's a person who is non-judgmental. The conversations we have with them is in a safe space. And I say a safe space because I'm not being judged.
And this person doesn't even know you. So
They don't know you, number one, which means that they are unbiased. And they aren't the ones fixing you. You're doing the work. They're just there as a medium. That's my view.
You just need someone to talk to, because sometimes you can't even talk to family. You know, when you're going through cancer, I don't know about you, you sometimes feel sorry for your own family that they have to go through this with you. You're like, these people are not strong as I am. I remember my sister once made a joke. I fell in the shower, and then my little brother had to carry me, literally had to carry me to my room. And my sister was like, you know what? If I was you, I would have died a long time ago. What do you mean? And she'll always make a joke about like, I don't know how you do it. But if it was me, after everything that we've been watching you go through, I would have been a goner. So you just look at them, you're like, I don't want them to be looking at me like this. I don't want them to feel the pain that I'm feeling. At the same time, yes, and then you can't talk to them. Then you're like, let me rather go talk to a stranger. Because I had days when I don't want to speak to anyone in the house. We have a very big house. Everybody's got their own room. You have your own space at home. There was time like, don't talk to me, and that's it. And fortunately, they understood that I was having my days. Cancer is, it doesn't just eat you, man. Like, it doesn't just eat your flesh. It eats your mind. It eats your pockets. It does the most to the people. And people don't know that. It's just ridiculous.
So because I'm finding that speaking about this, speaking to people, and even coming from feedback that I'm receiving from those watching this show, depression is a big thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of discrimination, as much as there's discrimination, as you mentioned, but cancer is a white person's disease. Cancer doesn't discriminate. Depression doesn't discriminate.
Most black people don't know that. It's sad. I know someone that also had cancer. I've never met this girl. We were talking on the phone, and she was staying in the township. She told me that she couldn't even leave her house because people were saying, no, you're lying, you don't have cancer, you have AIDS. Why are you losing your hair? Why are you losing weight? And they don't know what cancer does to the body. Cancer is more dangerous than HIV and all these things they think they know about. This child actually killed herself. Her mom called me, like, you know that she passed away. I'm like, what happened? I was talking to her yesterday. Like, because she couldn't go to school. She couldn't walk the streets because people were making fun of her. And then no one wants to educate themselves about this cancer that we have. Like, you're too black to have cancer. Don't lie to us. We know what you have. It's not cancer. You're probably dying of AIDS. You see those things? Yeah. It kills people. And I think more education is needed, especially in our black communities. I don't know from where.
No, I tend to agree with you there. Not necessarily just the black community. And I don't want it to be a racist thing or make it sound like a racial thing, but I think, and my experience with speaking to people, and I've been speaking to people, black, white, colored, Indian, we all have these little biases and these little cultural challenges that we face with. There's a white gentleman, an Afrikaner, who also has a stoma. He's married, and to this day his wife hasn't seen it. He cannot allow her to see it because that's a sign of weakness.
Oh, Okay.
Right? In the colored communities, it's a case of don't speak about this. You don't let people know. And we've got to hold on to this. And I think at the end of the day, the depression that we're talking about, which is another stigma, is driven by those behaviors.
True.
Because we're not allowed to speak. We're not allowed to feel. We've got to hide it. We've got to pretend.
That's true. Same thing that I went through. So that's why I'm saying with that and depression, it's a good thing to have a shrink. Now people are like, oh, are you crazy? Are you bipolar? Why are you going to see a shrink? But they don't understand. It's actually good for your peace of mind. And with most families, they don't want to say they don't even want to admit to themselves that someone has depression. People will say, no, you're moody, you want attention, this and that and that. Most families and most people don't even know that depression exists, like depression. Why? Don't you eat at home? Don't you have food at home? Why are you depressed? Yeah. They don't understand what this is.
Yeah,
but you have food at home. You have everything that you need. Why? You have a roof over. Why are you depressed? Like most of our parents, especially the old school, don't understand what depression is. Like, when are you just looking for attention?
We had a guest on the show, and I'm actually hearing her say this now, because we spoke about depression there too. And it's like telling someone with a broken leg, it's okay, walk it off. And it's not something that we can do. If you don't mind, and without necessarily going into the detail of what your sessions with the psychologist was what did it do for you?
It actually helped me release a lot of things that I didn't know that I was holding on to. And with my psychologist, we didn't only speak about the cancer. We spoke about everything, my upbringing and everything. It actually helped me release a lot of anger that I didn't know that I had, besides the cancer thing. So that's why I always say, find someone to talk to. It doesn't matter if this person is at a hospital, clinic, just find a stranger to talk to, because this person is not going to judge you. They don't know you. They don't know your family. They're not going to go back and talk about you. They are trained to do these things. So having a psychologist really helped me forgive and let go of a lot of stuff.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Okay.
So I know with me, I was given a lot of tools on how to manage stressful situations. When it is, I went to go and speak to a psychologist. Was it the same for you?
Yep.
And how does it help you deal and manage with those challenging times?
They're still very challenging for me, because naturally I'm a person who I'm impatient naturally, and I don't know if I can't say this on TV, but I cannot stand stupid people. Like, stupidity drives me insane. So I'm still learning to give people the benefit of the doubt, and still learning to, to be chilled with people. I'm really learning. Like, it's a
But I think that's the amazing thing.
Really
You're aware.
learning.
You become aware.
Now I become aware, and now I'm very quick to apologize. As before that, it was like, take it or leave it, I don't care.
So all of a sudden that stress is becoming a lot easier.
Yes, now I'm very quick to apologize when I'm wrong. At first, it was not my thing. And I understand people more, I think. I try to put myself in someone else's shoes before I start, judging or attacking them as per se. So it has helped me a lot. It really has helped me. Like, this year has been one of the best years of my life, and people don't understand. Like, but you had cancer. I'm like, guys, I did things that I haven't done in a long time. I went to America for 3 weeks just to chill and have me time.
And it had nothing to do with the trip.
Yeah. I went to America. I threw one of the biggest parties because I can. I did a lot of things this year. It was one of the best years of my life, actually.
So I'm so sorry to cut you. No. We have some bills to pay, but I'd like to pick this up when we return. Please stay tuned. We'll be with you shortly. Welcome back to The Silence Speaks Volumes. I'm your host, Fazal Jacobs. In studio, we have cancer warrior legend herself, Sisanda. And before the break, Sisanda, we were chatting about the tools and how speaking to a psychologist has changed your life. And it wasn't them that did the work.
No,
it was you that were doing the work. You were mentioning that you went back all the way to your childhood and you were unpacking things over there. And I think there's a fear from a lot of people to go to that space.
Yeah. true, because I was also not comfortable at first to go through that. It was emotionally, it was draining for me, but it was necessary. So I had to do it, and I did it, and I'm glad I did it. I still see a psychologist now once in a blue moon, but it's not something
That's
like...
sort of like just a dip check.
Yes, just to check on myself now and then, see how I'm doing. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm proud of myself. I kind of want to say, so good thing that I had cancer, because if I didn't have cancer, I wouldn't have gone to a psychologist, because at first I thought, no, white people's situations. Because growing up, I went to an all-white school, and they will always talk about, no, I have my shrink appointment. I'm like, hey, Abelungu, but why would you want to do that? Now I see why white people go to, not to bring this, to do this, bring it like a race thing, but I understand why they do that. And if my children would want to do that growing up, like they want to see someone, I'll pay for it. It's good for your soul as well. It
is. I think there's a lot of value that can be offered by a psychologist, and even maybe not even a psychologist, but a coach. Not those fly-by-night coaches, but someone reputable that can help you, because and for those out there watching, I think again, a psychologist is not someone that tells you how you're going to live your life. You making those decisions. You decide on how you are going to overcome whatever challenge it is you are facing. And I so agree with you when I call it that cancer has been a blessing. It's been the best thing that has happened to me, because life has become so much easier.
It has, and you grow, which you, as I said, you do something, you think different now, and you do something stuff that you didn't think you would do before you had the cancer. Even your thinking is different now. Even the way you look at life is different now. I think things are lighter now. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, for sure.
Things are lighter now. At first, you worried about a lot of things, but now the only thing you need to worry about, literally the only thing I need to worry about, is not having any pains in my body, because once I have pains, I panic. But other than that, if I don't have money now, I'll have money tomorrow. At least I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm still pretty. And a lot of things, I don't have a car today. I'll just take an Uber, and then I'll let my brother use the cars. Those things that you wouldn't have done before. You don't stress about a lot of things now, because you're like, thank God I'm happy and I'm healthy, and that's all that's important. Because when you've never done chemo and radiation. When you do chemo and radiation, the only thing you want is to be healthy. That's the only... It's like when you take alcohol, people that drink, when you're so drunk, you pray to be sober. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that, where you pray to be sober. That's what happened when you have chemo. Like, can this ever end? Now that you're not going through that, you're like, no, life is beautiful. Life is beautiful.
I think that's very important. Life is beautiful. You mentioned something there that I'd like your opinion on and your view in terms of how you manage that. And it's something I go through, and I know with previous guests that we had on the show, they experience it too. That anxiety when you get sick or you have to go for a checkup.
You always freak out. There's no ifs and buts about it. You go there and you pray every day. I hope, especially with me, that I had to go through this twice. Because even when they diagnosed me the second time, it was just going for my usual scans and stuff, and then they found the cancer. So every time anything happens to me, people don't understand, you're so dramatic. No, but guys, every time I hear any pain, and my dad already knows, pain causes hospital. I don't even play about that situation. The anxiety that comes with it, it's just, I don't know if it will ever end, and I hope it does, but for now, I'm still going through it.
I don't think it would end. It's always there. But again, I think, and for me, the taking I took from having that safe space where I could speak to someone about things, it's allowed me to acknowledge the fact that, you know what, you're anxious, and it's fine. But we don't know what the results are going to be. And we cannot deal with what we don't know until we know.
Exactly. And what also helps is the people around you. It helps to have people that are not going to treat you like an egg.
Yeah.
People that treat you normally, because
Yeah, you
when
don't need a
some
pity party. Yeah.
because sometimes people like, yo, you fought cancer, and then they start treating you different, like you some fragile little
But
thing.
you don't look
but
like
yes, but you don't need a pity party, and that's the other thing that people don't understand. It's very tiring when people do that.
Yeah.
You just need people that are going to treat you like the person that you are. I fought this so that I can be myself again, not for people to feel sorry for me. Like, oh my
Exactly.
gosh, you fought cancer. How are you now? Dude, I'm fine. Just chill. I'm just telling you this so that you know, but don't treat me like some fragile little thing. I still have to take care of my children. Now
Yeah.
imagine if you're going to treat me like a fragile. We don't play that game here.
So, what message would you give out there to two groups of people? The one is the cancer patient. The other is the family and friends, the support.
The cancer patient, don't give up. I know it's hard. It's probably one of the hardest things you ever have to do in your life. Do not give up. Do everything the doctor tells you to do. And
The doctor.
Your oncologist, not someone from YouTube or whatever. Do everything the doctor tells you. Do not give up. It's going to be okay. And for the families, make sure you are there 24/7, because with cancer, anything can happen at 2 in the morning. Make sure you are there. Make sure you treat this person like a normal person, even going to chemo. Please, because we lose our hair, we look ridiculous. And that's the other thing, self-esteem. They need to have their self-esteem back. Because when you're doing chemo and with radiation changes your whole body. My body, I look like I was burned by something that I don't know. And people need to know that they still matter. Even still fighting, they need to know they still matter, and people need them. So that's what pushes them to fight more.
So, and just to dig a little bit deeper into the being there for someone. It's not necessarily about being told what to do to get better.
True. Being there for someone can only mean just being there emotionally sometimes. You don't have to bring this person food or whatever, but emotional, so that this person can have someone to talk to.
You don't have to have the answer.
Yes, you don't have to have an answer, because that person doesn't have an answer too. But just be there to listen, because sometimes we can go crazy, like literally crazy. You talk to someone and they think you're losing it. That's what the drugs do to you as well. I don't know what happened to you. I was almost losing all my mind. Cancer is dangerous, guys.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, very exhausting. I still get exhausted even now. I still get the fatigues, because I just beat cancer. Like, I had my last chemo in March, so my body's still starting to readjust and recover. So, yeah, be there for someone. Just don't let them think that they're not needed anymore.
Yeah. And I think what you just mentioned now as well is we find ourselves at the end of October. March was, 6-7 months ago?
Yeah.
Why so long to recover? Your body's been to war. Your body has been to war. One of our previous guests, Dr. Saninda Beer, was a phytotherapist. I think she put it down nicely in terms of the analogies that she used, that your body's been to war. You have a battlefield within your body, and you need the Red Cross to come in and clear things up and rebuild. So it's something that takes time. So when someone comes 9 months, 10 months, 11 months later, but get over that now. It was so long ago. I'm still recovering.
Yeah, because
there's the scars and the wounds that you don't see.
Yeah, because the other thing they don't know is that chemo kills all your cells.
Yeah.
Even the working cells. So now your body has to literally recover, rebuild itself, and then there's radiation. So it doesn't take like 1 month and then you're fine. Yeah. That's why even people that fought cancer 5 years ago will tell you, I'm still recovering. That's why it's called remission.
Yeah.
Because you still recover. People don't understand that. So yeah.
Sisanda, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
We are running out of time, and unfortunately, we only have 30 minutes for the show. Stay strong, keep on the fight, and keep up the amazing work that you are doing.
Thank you.
To our viewers out there, I think to wrap up in a few minutes what has happened over the last 13 weeks now. It's not really going to give it justice, but a couple of points to remember out there for the patient, It is very difficult, and it's a challenging time, and you're going through so much that only another cancer warrior, be it a survivor or someone still going through it, can truly understand. And I think the same applies to any potentially terminal or debilitating illness. The emotional journey is a rough one. There's a lot of information that you're going to get bombarded with, and as has been mentioned on the show previously, your body doesn't become your own. It is now being prodded and probed. Stay strong. Find yourself people and support that are there for you. For the support and the family, the friends, support isn't necessarily telling me what it is I need to get better, what it is that person needs to get better. It is not the neighbors, friends, girlfriends, aunties, boyfriend that has a secret recipe. No two cancers, and this is a message that has come through on pretty much every show. No two cancers are the same. You as a person are constantly saying, I'm an individual. Don't treat me the same as the next person. It's exactly the same with an illness. You cannot go and take someone else's medication for you. Your body may react differently. Listen to your doctor. The patients, listen to your doctor. The support, respect what the doctor is saying to the patient. The journey is tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you're there to support each other in a non-judgmental way, as an individual, and realizing that you may not always have the answers. You can beat this, you can overcome this. And the harsh reality is that in some instances, it is incurable. And if the patient decides that I do not want to go for chemo, I want to have a quality of life with the time that I have left, we have to, as difficult as it is, respect that decision. If they decide that they're going to fight this, you can be there for them as a support by not telling them how to fight it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to all the guests that came onto the show. And we sincerely hope that the journeys that have been shared can be helpful to someone else in need. Thank you so much for watching The Silence Speaks Volumes. I'm your host, Fazal Jacobs.